Imagine being able to wake up in the morning and not needing to worry about what clothes to wear at school. No debate over sweatpants or jeans or if it's too cold to wear shorts. And that's because you would have uniforms. Hello, my name is Emma, and if you couldn't tell, I believe that uniforms would positively impact students. And I believe this because uniforms improve a student's behavior, they reduce the amount of money spent on clothing, and they encourage students' studies over their clothes. To start, students would benefit from school uniforms because the uniforms improve behavior. According to a 2007 peer-reviewed study, in schools with historically higher rates of sexual violence, sexual attacks were less likely if uniform policies were in place. School uniforms also prevent students from concealing weapons under baggy clothing, making it easier to keep track of students on field trips, and make intruders on campus more visible. This makes it evident to me that uniforms have lots of positive aspects contributing to student safety. So my second reason on why uniforms are positive for students is that they save parents money. According to Procon.org, an August 20th, 2015 study of uniform costs in the United Kingdom found that uniforms cost parents $120.79 per outfit, while out-of-school outfits averaged at about $165.79. This adds up to suggest that when you have uniforms, you're going to wear the same thing for 7 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, meaning you wouldn't have as many outfits in your closet because you wouldn't need them. You would have more money for the other necessities in life. So my best and final reason on why uniforms would positively impact students is that uniforms encourage studies over clothing. Procon.org states that a 2010 University of Houston study found that elementary school girls' language test scores increased by about 3 percentile points after uniforms were introduced. This means that if we had uniforms, we could possibly produce smarter and more competent adults. Maybe we could build up a better educational reputation as a country. Chris Hammonds of Woodland Middle School also claims that uniforms provide less distraction and less drama and more focus on learning. This adds up to suggest that uniforms create an easier way for students to focus on their school life. Oftentimes when uniforms are mentioned, people automatically assume that we're talking about like stereotypical Japanese schoolgirl sailor uniform that looks like this, as you see at the screen. But to be honest, there's a debate within the debate about whether you should have loose policies or strict policy on uniforms, and they would not be like the stereotypes. So this would be considered to be a strict uniform policy. There's a white blouse tucked in to a skirt. And some positive aspects of this are students have a routine and they know what they're going to wear every day. And it's like schools can give incentives when like students are good. Like say there's like a really good semester, then there can be like a few days of like not having to wear uniforms and you can wear normal clothes. And some cons of having these strict uniforms is that students just aren't as fond of them after a while. They'll be like, oh, this is cool. And then after a while, students will say like, I want to wear my clothes. I want to wear what I can wear. So the second option would be kind of a middle ground, where students still wear, like females, for example, would wear that blouse and the skirt. But besides that, they'd have leggings and a sweatshirt. And so it gives students the chance to express themselves, as people would argue against uniforms for. But students still have that routine uniform underneath, where teachers can always make sure students are wearing them. So a con of this is that students sometimes might wear things that they're not supposed to besides this. Like, for example, students might wear giant ripped pants when teachers say don't do that. Okay. So our third option would be a loose uniform policy, which makes you'd have certain rules, but you also have the freedom to wear what you want. Like you'd have to wear a nice shirt with some sort of skirt, for example, and no holes in the pants and no crop tops and where students are still able to wear random sweatshirts or just skirts, or dudes have to wear a nice shirt and khakis. But you don't have a specific rule for a certain type of clothing. So some pros of this are that students get to wear what they want to wear while still abiding by the school's clothing policy. And some cons of this are that sometimes teachers can't catch when students break the the policy because there's so many different things and aspects to it. As you can see, every type of uniform has their pros and cons. In my opinion, the best uniform policy would be the middle ground policy. I say this because it gives children the chance to express themselves while keeping the basic uniform with them, and it's easier on the teachers too to be able to point out dress code and make sure everyone's abiding by the rules. Some Iranian people disagree, saying that uniforms promote conformity over individuality. However, Procon.org states that a 2002 study of 1,000 Texas middle school students found that students in uniform reported significantly more positive perceptions of belonging in their school community than reported by students of the standard dress group. All in all, uniforms help students because they improve behavior, reduce the cost of clothing, and encourage student studies over their clothing. Uniforms can also have varying levels of strictness depending on the school. How do you think your school would benefit if they had a uniform policy?